Vanessa here, and welcome to Quantum Within. This is a podcast where we're going to explore topics of science, reality, healing, and becoming the you who you are truly meant to be at your core. This is not about fixing yourself, it's about remembering who you already are, beneath the noise, beneath the patterns, and beneath the self-limiting beliefs. So, this podcast was born from spending over 2 decades in the public school classroom, not just teaching science, but I was really witnessing. I was witnessing just exhaustion in teachers, overwhelm in students, increasing levels of anxiety, and just the spark and vitality for life and learning dimming. And I experienced it too. And this pain led me to a deeper question. What does it really take to heal, to feel alive, to become alive and not just to cope or survive or get by or, live for the weekend? So this podcast came from that journey, not just out of burnout, but into vitality and out of those looping stories and into embodied freedom. So Quantum Within is a space where we explore what it means to stop merely getting by and start living with presence and with purpose and strength. So each week I plan on sharing just a short, potent episode that's drawn from real life, from the lives of my clients, friends, and maybe even you. So we'll explore emotional loops, identity shifts, time distortion, and inner alignment using the frameworks that I teach in Lev Emunah Therapy. So this isn't just mindset work, but it really is soul work. This is for the person who knows there's more peace, there's more power and strength and presence that's hidden underneath all the chaos that we experience in life. And I know if you're like me, you don't just want hype, you don't want more information, you want something real, something that's grounded in reality with takeaways that you can implement and help you on your journey here in this life. So if this speaks to you, hit follow, like, share with somebody else who's on the path, and you can DM me for my WhatsApp link where I do put out regular reels and just updates and things that I'm involved in. So if that interests you, then welcome. And I'm glad you're here for Quantum Within, where you're not bound to repeat your past. You're invited to disrupt it. So today's episode I've titled, Is Time Even Real? So I want to ask you a question that might bend your brain a little bit. Have you ever felt like you are running out of time, but also like time isn't even real? So today we're diving into something wild. What if time isn't what you think it is? So don't worry, I'm not here to give you a science lecture, but I am here to help you question the rules that you've been living under. Because if time isn't what we've been told, then neither is your story, neither is your identity, and neither is your self-limiting beliefs. Okay, so as a science nerd or geek, I don't know what the right term is, I love Doctor Who. And one of the older episodes, the doctor referred to time as this wibbly, wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. So meaning that time is not linear. It's not this progression in a line from one event to another. And you've probably heard people say that time is just a human construct. So what is meant by that? Okay, so think about we live by clocks and calendars and deadlines. And these are all man-made attempts to measure something that's not really tangible, that we can't touch. So think about this. A 10-minute meditation might feel like 2 minutes, or 10 minutes of anxiety and panic and worry seems like forever. I have some friends who just had a baby, and they were talking about that during the delivery, how, an hour went by on the clock, but it seemed like 5 minutes. And maybe you've experienced that too. I'm sure you have at some point in your life, or something that's really fun and enjoyable and engaging. Time just seems like it just went by so fast. But yeah, in those moments of stress and worry, it can feel like an eternity. Okay, so enough examples. All right. So is time real, or is it just how we feel movement? So in this sense, time isn't an object, but it's an agreement. It's a structure, a story. But here's where it gets interesting. So in physics, time isn't just a social agreement. Okay, what we mean by that, like I'm agreeing to meet you at, such and such a place at 10 o'clock for coffee. Okay, so time in physics is really referred to space-time, and that's considered the fourth dimension. So you have forward and back, side to side, and up and down, and then there's time. And Einstein taught that past, present, and future exist all at once. So here's a practical example. So think about walking into your favorite bakery. There's a fresh loaf on the counter. It's already sliced. So each slice is a moment in time. Your childhood, this morning's coffee, the future version of you that's standing in your favorite vacation spot, smiling. They all exist in the loaf at once, but you only experience one slice at a time. So that's how your mind has been trained to process reality. Now think about this. A smell can instantly bring you back 20 years. A dream can introduce you to a version of you that you haven't even met yet. So which slice are you really in? Time isn't behind you or in front of you. It's all stacked, already baked. And you focus on the one that you focus on becomes the one that you taste. And that changes everything. Because if time isn't linear, think about this. Then maybe healing doesn't have to be either. Maybe that version of you who's already whole, who's already healed, who's already abundant isn't someday, but maybe he or she's already right here. Okay, so let's take this even deeper. What if time isn't a thing that flows like a river, but a way that we measure change? Okay, so think about a clock. Okay, a clock doesn't show you time, it's showing you motion. Tick, 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 something's moving. And that's how we know something's happening, because we're trained, I guess, to experience novelty. Okay, so time is just really how we organize change. Because without change, how would we even know what time is? So in Lev Emunah, Rabbi Beton referred to the silent observer. So that's the part of us that's always observing, witnessing quietly in the background. We don't even notice or are aware of that part of us because our subconscious has always been tuned in to notice when there's change, when there's something new and novel. So again, like our sense of smell, I'm not noticing any smells right now, but if there was a new smell introduced, then I'm paying attention to it. So see, in our day-to-day experience, time feels linear. Birth, childhood, career, aging, death. We live by the calendar and we fear the clock. We often resist it, we get stressed out by it or our perceived lack of time to get things accomplished. And when we live from that lack of time, we just increase the lack. You've probably heard that phrase before, what we resist persists. And that certainly applies to time. When we feel like we don't have enough time to get things done, it seems like we have even less time. Now, in Lev Emunah Therapy, we explore something different, and we call it the absolute now. So think about this. Most of our stress, our worry, the regret that we feel, it's not in this moment. It's in our memories or in anticipation of some future event that hasn't even happened yet. So for example, if we didn't bring the past into the present or the imagined future into this present moment, what would actually be here right now? Just your breath, your awareness, just now. Now, in the Hebrew language, the word for time, siman, its root means to prepare. And this blew my mind when I learned this, because it means that time isn't here to preserve the past. It's not a repetition of what was. It's here to prepare you for what's next. So what if we really lived this way? What if we stopped using time as a record of what's happened and started to use it as a doorway to what's becoming? And when I say becoming, I'm not talking about becoming someone new or something different, but really just revealing, again, who we are at our core, our true essence. So today, I just want to leave you with a practical takeaway and a journal prompt, if you're a journaler. So choose one ordinary moment today, whether it's brushing your teeth, drinking tea, a walk outside, and fully enter it. Don't think about the past. Don't worry about the future. Just now. Feel it, taste it, hear it, and let the moment stretch out beyond time. And if you like journaling, a journal prompt you could consider is, what if I am living my life by the clock? Sorry, let me rephrase this. Where in my life am I living by the clock instead of consciousness? And notice what comes up. There's no need to fix it. Just observe it. Remember, and this is key to Lev Emunah Therapy, no shaming yourself, no judging yourself, but just to wake up, to become aware to what's actually happening right now, in the absolute now. So thank you so much for joining us today. And this is where we explore on, this is what we explore on Quantum Within. It's not just ideas, but identity shifts, not just healing from the past, but preparing for the version of you that's already arrived right here in the quantum. And if this episode resonates with you, share it with a friend and DM me if you'd like to join our WhatsApp circle, and let's keep shifting together.